What's up, people? Welcome back to the Over 80 Minutes podcast. This week, I'm joined by an incredible guest. He is 23 years old, but he's already representing Canada age grade. He is the number 26 pick in the MLR US Collegiate Draft. He is the Canadian Cowboy. He is now the newest member of the Giltinis. He's got the best gap-tooth smile you've seen since a young Mick Foley. His name is James O'Neill. James, how are you, sir? How are you getting on?
Mr. Matthews, I'm doing well. Thanks for that intro was a bit long-winded, not gonna lie, but yeah.
Too long, short. Got to keep it short and sweet.
Yeah, just pumping my tires a little bit too much there, but yeah, no, things are great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Mate, I'm glad you finally came on. I was buzzing the second I saw that there was a chance to get you on. I was like, no, have to do it. I think I messaged you the second the draft went through. So before we get started and we get all to that good stuff, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to our good partners, Wild Haggis. Wild Haggis are once again partners of the podcast. They've got your pre-workout, your BCAAs, your proteins. They've also got their own fitness range, including exclusive women's products. Everything that you want there, just use product over in 80. That's OVERIN 80, all in block capitals. That gets you 10% off at checkout. All the best stuff made by Scottish people. And if you know anything about Scotland, absolutely made of granite and hard hats. So that's the people you want to buy protein from. That's out of the way. James, we're just going to get started with the quick fire questions. I'm so happy to have you on. Get them going and we'll get them done. So easy, just first one that comes into your head, just say what comes into your head and then we'll be fine. Any tricky questions or any questionable answers, we'll call you out on them and then we'll see how you do.
All right, sounds good. I'll give it a go.
Amazing. Right, mate, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Every day. Night out or a night in?
Night out with the boys, night in with the missus.
Oh, what an answer. That's media at its finest there. That's personalized media training.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, would you rather score a try or make a try, save, and turnover?
Try, save, and turnover every day.
Exactly. Sweets or chocolate?
Sweets.
Nice. Rugby or dogs? If you had to get rid of one tomorrow, which one would you get rid of?
I'm the worst guy ever. Getting rid of rugby, because how can you get rid of dogs? But I lose either way, so thanks for that.
Mate, I know you're a big dog man. That's why I asked it. Right. Would you rather watch a movie or a TV series?
TV series. I love binging. I can, if I have a bit of time on a Sunday, I'll just flick it on and get after it.
Nice. 7s or 15s?
15. Too slow for 7s, unfortunately.
No, you guys were all right when we played. Yeah. One to relax. Would you rather have a bath or a shower?
Say shower. I just can't really sit still for too long. Yeah, say shower. Showers does me well.
Nice. On your night out with the boys, would you rather be in a nightclub or a good pub with some live music?
Oh, good pub, 100%. Just I can't do the loud music, trying to yell at the boys and stuff. People sweating on me. I sweat as it is, So.
Exactly. Right, arms day or leg day in the gym? Which one do you want to hit?
Gotta go leg day. Because I make too much fun of people who wear sweatpants to the gym and track pants. Just can't do it. You can't do it. You gotta wear shorts.
Gotta let the puppies breathe. That's what you gotta do.
There you go, 100%.
Right. Would you rather have Tim Hortons or Five Guys?
I'd say Tim's for sure. Yeah, Tim's is a good staple of any good Canadian diet.
I have to ask you in a few years after you've got that LA sun on you. See what you're saying.
Yeah, no, good point. Yeah, totally.
Right, man. If you're trying to get something organized, are you a FaceTime or are you a text kind of guy?
Man, I am a FaceTime kind of guy. Absolutely, just cut to the chase, just get after it. Because sometimes you get some group chats going. Things are good banter with the fellas and stuff, but which is all good. But you always have that one guy in the group who keeps cracking great jokes when you're trying to get things moving along. So just FaceTime, cut to the chase, get going.
I'm the guy that's cracking the jokes, so I'll take responsibility for that.
Quality banter, man. All good though.
Right, mate. Would you rather be a Jedi from Star Wars or an elf from Lord of the Rings?
More of a Lord of the Rings guy. But I'd have to be a Jedi over an elf. I think just the ability to use the Force. Just that's something else right there. So.
Good. I didn't know how that question was going to go, but I'm happy. Right, mate. Socks and sliders. Do you know what socks and sliders are?
Yeah.
So are they a yes or a no? Are you a fan or are you an open-toed kind of guy?
Yeah, I'd go with that. I've definitely been guilty of rocking socks and sliders from time to time. You know, it's you gotta be. It's not you're not gonna look super glamorous or anything, but you're comfortable. So that's all that really matters.
Comfort over style every day.
100%, 100%.
Right, mate. What's your go-to musical when you're feeling like having a wee sing song?
Musical, obviously, Mamma Mia, man. It's just every song's a sing along. You know, you
Mamma Mia.
don't know what it is. You just know the words and whatnot, and just good vibes.
Mate, I've known you for 10 years. I never took you for an ABBA fan. Never once took you for an ABBA fan. You've kept that quiet.
Just, you got to keep your cards close to your chest, you know.
Right, mate. Would you rather have a team activity day out or a team night out? So would you rather have, like, say, an organized fun day activities or just boys on the piss?
Yeah, the PC answer would definitely be fun lads activity during the day, but you know, all the good stories come from a good night out with the boys. So definitely got to go good team out with the lads.
Exactly, mate. As we were saying before we came on, you're about to go party with Matt Gitto and Adam Ashley Cooper. You're about to have some fun stories to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hopefully I don't scare them away too badly down there. You know, we'll see how it goes. I'll just try and keep my mouth shut and keep things moving, work hard. But yeah, it'll be awesome, man. It'll be crazy.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for you. And lastly, Maple Leafs or Canucks?
I hate them both. I'm a big Flames fan, but if I'd choose between the two, I guess the Leafs, because you know they've lost so many times, and I just feel bad for them more or less. So yeah, but those Canucks, yeah, Leafs over Canucks, I think.
Exactly. You can blame the other schools. When we came to Canada, we got forced to support the Canucks. Man, I tried to get a Flames jersey, couldn't do it.
Man, I'll send you one. No worries.
Mate, you got to send me a signed LA top after your first year. Mate, yeah. the plan for the podcast when this get a partition, make it like its own little studio, get some signed stuff up there. You'll have to hook me up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it might be a little hat from the gift shop or something initially, but I'll work on moving up the ranks to get a jersey for you.
Mate, I'll pay for it. You sign it and send it, and I'll pay for it. I'll send you the cash.
Man, it's gonna devalue the jersey so much if I sign it.
No, anything goes up. That's memorabilia.
There you go.
Mate, hey, when we get on to talk about it, I've got an interesting stat that makes you a name in history in the MLR. So don't you worry.
No way. Okay.
Yeah, man. But before we get started, we're just gonna talk about it. Mate, how do you discover rugby in Canada? Because obviously, what's the rugby like in Canada? Like when you're growing up in elementary school?
Yeah. Honestly, because it's not a main staple sport by any means. It's kind of a niche thing in Canada for sure. When I was introduced to the game, I was 9 years old, and my friend just invited me down to a touch session in the middle of winter. It was just inside a gymnasium. So I didn't really know much about it. Both my parents are from Britain. My dad was born in Scotland, and my mom was born in England. If I don't tell a lot of people that, so so they obviously knew the game, but didn't really introduce it to me when I was younger. Just kind of got involved with the touch stuff, and then there's a few local clubs in the area. Again, nothing big, but in Calgary, off the top of my head, I think there's about six clubs. So you kind of play in a round robin competition, and then up in Edmonton, there's a club scene up there as well. So it's good crack. There's good, great guys in the system down here. In Canada, honestly, just kind of a big community. Just because the landscape is so niche in Canada, you kind of, if you're in the scene long enough, you kind of just get to know most people just through association or just meeting other people from across the country and things. So, it's kind of a weird one for me, the way it's all started out, but obviously going all right now and super stoked about it. So.
Oh, sick, man. That's cool. So when you started, like you said, you started at 9. Did you have when your dad, when you got invited to that by your friend, was your dad like, I know what this is, I'll tell you about it? Or was your dad just like, I'll just let you go and find it for yourself, and if you like it, if you like it, you like it, and if not, we'll do something else? Or
yeah, basically, that was kind of the theme with both my parents. Super supportive. They helped me out whenever they could. Obviously, mom drive me everywhere, and the old man coached most of the club teams I was on growing up. So they were always heavily involved, and big part of that. But it was, they're never forcing our hand or anything. They're never, hey, yeah, you gotta practice was terrible today, blah, 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 like sit down and grill, like you see those classic like hockey dads or football parents. I'm sure you know about it back in the UK, but
mate, my dad was my coach. I had that. That was my life.
Really? Did he just grill you for every little mistake you made? But surely he didn't make a lot of mistakes, man. You're classy operator.
Mate, I'm still living off that one game we played against Jonigan. That's still the best game I've ever played, so I'm living off that.
Yeah. Hey, happy you could have a good moment there. Man, yeah, it's cool experience at least.
Mate, no, I'm glad your dad was like that. It's really cool. Like, I know it must be fun having your dad as a coach. Did that give you any like sort of pressures as like a young kid? Was there like so I don't know how the pathway. We'll move into it in a different way. So you said the rugby scene in Canada goes in. Obviously, your dad's going there. How? Because we know when we talk about stuff like when we see the North American sports from over here, there's like very much like a pathway. Like you look at players like LeBron, and they're playing from high school, and they know that they're going to be an NBA star by the time they're like 12. What's it like for the rugby in Canada? Does that follow the same principle? Does that follow things like that, or is it?
Yeah, so with rugby, I think it depends on the province you're in. But, well, actually, no, initially all across the board, when you're in elementary sort of thing, so primary, you it's all club. So it's not through the schools, it's all through, just private association. So you show up for your club team, and then if you're good enough, you'll usually get tapped on the shoulder and get invited to provincial stuff. So when I was growing up, there was a national tournament. So all the provinces would meet up for a week-long tournament, and it would just kind of be around. Well, yeah, there'd be two pools. You play each other, and then basically go into the finals, and etc. You basically have a chance to showcase your talent, and then from there, then there's age grade Canada. So it starts out when I was growing up, it started at U17. And then goes all the way up to like U18, U19 to U20. And then now once you hit U20, there's a program called the Pacific Pride, which I'm actually in currently as well. So it's the Canada Development Academy. So my roommate and I are in that. So that's pretty much it. So basically you play club, and then there'll be trials for your province and etc. But there is rugby in university here. I played 3 seasons in the national championship with Big Fikes, the legends.
Go Vikes, go Vikes.
Yeah, exactly. Up the Vikes. So but basically, so that pathway is growing. So basically, there's 2 pathways. So long answer short. There's through the club system, you get provincial things and get to the age grade, or now there is rugby played in high school as well, and then you have an opportunity to go play university. So the big universities are kind of UVic, UBC, Queens, Concordia is growing. Trent Excalibur out in Peterborough, Ontario. They're huge. My roommate Emerson Pryor, they actually have a statue made of him at the gates.
Nice.
He's great. No, I'm just messing around. But
I thought you were being deadly serious. I was like, how good do you have to be as a university athlete to get a statue made of you at the gate?
I know.
Why does James O'Neill not have one at the University of Vic?
It just sounds like a waste of time to me. But there's basically 2 pathways. So you can go through the school system and go through the club system, the age grade sort of thing. And then what you're saying, it's kind of tough to some guys get picked up really early, like it has happened in Canada. Like your Tyler Argerons, Jeff Hasslers, they came through U20 system, and then they had an opportunity to go train in like a Welsh academy system at the time. There was 12 Canadians training in Wales full time, and then they got picked. Some of them got picked up for pro contracts over there, and then they just kind of took off from there. So the thing with rugby in Canada, it's a bit of a Cowboys game more or less. You kind of chase the ball wherever you can go. I've had luckily enough, I had the opportunity to go down to New Zealand, play there for 6 months, and obviously got to come to beautiful Peebles and play your beautiful face as well. And so there are opportunities for it in Canada, but it's more or less what you make of it. So you basically get out what you put in.
Oh, well, that's good. It's good that the game's growing. Like I think that's the main point I want to try to get over in this case is how fast it is growing. Because I've become a convert to the MLR. I've really enjoyed watching it over the past year, and I think when rugby's growing in a new country, that's only a good thing for everybody involved.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I mean, the MLR, they're also Americanizing it as well, which is awesome because they understand how it works in their market, right? I mean, they're trying to obviously Austin's the only team that has the nameplates in the back of the jerseys, but they're trying to spread it to every team just so that kids growing up, you know, because obviously again rugby's not super popular and well known. Then they kind of will see the name tags and then they'll get to know players just like they do in NFL and NBA and then kind of grow the game that way. But I mean, yeah, it seems to be working right now. There's a lot of buzz around it. So and it's pretty exciting league for sure.
Exactly. I've never understood why rugby's taken so long to pick up in North America, especially like how much you guys like. For example, like obviously the US loves their American football. It's like the biggest 18 weeks of the year. But then you guys up in Canada, you all live and breathe hockey, and that is just fighting on ice. And occasionally you guys play sport.
Yeah.
Which rugby is, except on ice, it's on grass, and then it's just a fight for 80 minutes. So,
yeah.
Like, I don't. Do you think it can? Like, do you think it could become a big, massive, almost show like it is with the other sports?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
I'm not expecting you to have the answer to solve it, but what's your opinion?
Yeah, let me just pull that out of the air. Yeah, I mean, I'd hope that it would one day, but it's just tough market to get into, right? I mean, just speaking about in Canada, there's just obviously hockey's been around for a very long time, and it's just generational thing built in families and things. And I know just from speaking from personal perspective, coming from Cochrane in town there, football. So basically, some of the best athletes will play hockey or they play American football. And basically, if you play for my one high school back in, well, I went to Shawnigan Lake, but if I stayed in Cochrane, we'd go to Cochrane High. And then the football coach there, basically, you play football in the fall, and then the rugby season in the spring. And if you're coming back for the football team, he doesn't let his players play rugby because he's worried about them getting injured.
Wow.
But you're right. But then after the grade 12 year, they play their final year for the high school, and then he doesn't care about them after that, right? Like, well, obviously he cares about them, but he doesn't care if they get injured. They're not going to come back and play high school football. So then all the boys finally come out in their grade 12 year, give it a go, just for a bit of a laugh, and they all love it, and they're all saying, "Why haven't I tried this earlier?" You know. So I think it's just a combination of generational thing and just influence from what I've seen anyway. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it gets off the ground. I mean, MLR is going to help it for sure.
I agree. Right, you touched on nicely on my next point. I want to talk to you about Shawnigan Lake because that was the most picturesque High School Musical looking place I've ever seen when I got there. That is so. What is Shawnigan Lake is pretty much the #1 school in Canada, especially for everything and anything. Like when you look at I was on the website doing research for this, and I was looking at the alumni page of all the names coming out, and it was just like Olympic gold medalist, professional athlete, master of science, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure the cure for cancer is probably going to be on that list soon one day as well because those guys are incredible. So, what's it like going? So, how did you get picked up for Shawnigan Lake? Did you apply or did they come to you? What we were talking about earlier with people tapping you on the shoulder saying, "Come over here."
Yeah, basically, yeah, it was a funny one. So in grade 8, when I was playing for a team called the Celtic Barbarians, so it's basically a rep side from Alberta, invite. You know, not a big deal when you're grade 8, but went on tour to Vancouver Island and played against Oak Bay High School, played against Shawnigan Lake, and played against Brentwood. And then, so our head coach at the time, Cam Wilton, he, you know, my parents, my old man came along the tour to help manage, keep us young bucks in line, even though, you know, things probably got a little out of hand for him on that tour, to be honest with you. The parents loved to send it. Anyway, not the point. But yeah, basically, he was just chatting away to the coach, Cam Wilton, and he kind of asked my parents, you know, if you were to send your kid to Shawnigan and Brentwood, which would it be? And they kind of laughed because they're like, there's no way we'd be within 10 miles of that school, you know, it's prestige and whatnot. And my dad was well, he was, yeah, well, if I won the lottery one day, I'd definitely go to Shawnigan. And a few months later, we received invites in the mail because Cam was an alumni of Brentwood, but basically Brentwood Shawnee, and they know each other very well. And then they basically brought us out for just to come see the school, get a feel for it for 4 days, see all the madness that happens in the boarding house, and see the classes and how that operates. And then got an offer to come, and it was crazy. I mean, great story actually. Basically, our parents told us that we got full rides to school. So obviously, me and my brother were super stoked about that, but they actually didn't tell us that it was actually they offered us a 2-for-1 deal. So buy one, get one free. So they'd only pay for one of our tuition, but they didn't tell us that. So my mom actually got a second job driving school bus just to like help pay for it. And
that's incredible.
Yeah, and just had no idea at all until we graduated, and they told us. So it's super humbling, and obviously wouldn't be here without her. Obviously, both my parents, but I mean, but yeah, I mean, the experience going there was outstanding. I mean, the people you meet there, and it's just another world, right? Like you're going to school with 1%ers and incredibly nice people and all the rest of it. Great community vibes there, but yeah, it's definitely very daunting when you first there. You're kind of pinching yourself. You're like, am I really here right now? Like, is this really my school? Like, it's insane. It's beautiful facility, great teachers there and everything when I was there. I think when I was there, David Robertson was the headmaster, and I think he did an outstanding job. Ran a great culture there and a great family feel. And you got to rub shoulders with the likes of people like Garrett Duclos, who was involved with the Canadian squad back in 1987, went to the World Cup, and guys like Andrew Monroe, who's a Scot but obviously Canadian international. Tim Murdy was a fantastic coach. He just helped me out with my game so much, and I know I'm definitely gonna be missing people in this interview because there's far too many to mention. But so lucky to go there and have that experience. I mean, I was super excited about it. Basically grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and just incredibly lucky.
Exactly. No, Shawnigan was an incredible school. When I mean, we were only there for like 4 days or something like that, and we thought it was the best thing we'd ever seen. We remember the jokes. So we were talking about. You remember the big canteen they have there, like the big school hall.
Yeah, Marion Hall.
Yeah, we were all laughing. So remember, we were all sat there as like little tourist kids on like. I think we had just gone and raided the local Hollister for all the stuff because it was like $20 cheaper, or the equivalent of $20 cheaper where you were than when we were, because it was when it's still a brand. So we looked like a walking advert for Hollister. Like these 40 kids all sat there, like half girls, half boys playing hockey and rugby, and we were in this massive canteen. And then I think at one point I just looked up around the thing, and I was just talking to my best mate. We were on tour, and I was like, I would put good money that this building is bigger than my house. Like, and it's just a hollowed out canteen. But no, back to what you're saying about your mom. That's incredible, because I know you and your brother. I never had the privilege of meeting your mom and your dad, even when I was across in Cochrane. I never had the privilege of meeting them. But that's an incredible story that your mom and dad were just putting you through on a 2-for-1 and didn't even tell you guys.
Yeah, had no idea. I mean, they both humble people. The old man was a policeman in Calgary, and then my mom got into real estate a little bit. After we moved to Canada because I was obviously born in England originally. Again, don't tell a lot of people that. But and then moved to Canada when I was 4. So basically raised as Canadian, but British parents. But it's crazy how they made it work, and still to this day super thankful. So
exactly. Well, I'm sure you'll repay them back in the long run.
Yeah, just earn all those big bucks in rugby.
The big rugby contract.
Yeah.
The James O'Neill Jordan will be soon.
Oh man, that's a tall order for sure.
Is that on the little metaphorical blackboard that you've got the circle? It's like, I've made it when I've got my own shoot.
Oh yeah, I actually have it right here. Funny enough, I don't know how you knew that, but yeah. No.
I can imagine it now, just the Steph Curry, the James O'Neill, the Kobe, and then the LeBron. Just
I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll be able to push the toothless scumbag brand, but. And whatnot.
I never said you were a scumbag. I called you just toothless.
No. I said that. Spoke too soon, but yeah.
Mate, no. Hey, I'll vouch for you. I think you're a nice guy. I'll vouch for you. You've got the social media banter as well. I don't think there's a single post where you don't question how skinny the jeans are every time I post something.
Have to, man. You just gotta keep you humble. I know your head's getting way too big over there, man. There's nowhere over there to bring you back down to ground.
Exactly. It's the podcast. That's what we've been doing it since we were 15. Ever since that first game of rugby we played against each other, just keep each other humble on the ground.
There you go. 100%. Just saying hi in those rocks and stuff.
Exactly. When this podcast becomes worldwide, I'll just expect to text off you every month, just going, "I still had you on strings."
Absolutely.
I'll never forget story for the podcast listeners, one for the insides. So how me and James know each other properly. So when James came over to Scotland with his school, to save money and make trips more affordable, what they used to do is they used to make the host kid or the kids in the country host the visitors. So I hosted James and Simon. I can't. His last name escaped me for the last of it.
Yeah, Simon Gray. Yeah.
Simon Gray. That's it. Simon, if you're listening, I still think we have each other on Instagram. We've been pretty distant. That's mostly my fault. I'm gonna get in touch after this to see how he's doing. But so we hosted James and a guy called Simon, and I remember me and James were just mucking about, just wrestling as you do. My mum was like, "Stop beating up the host," and I was like, "Mum, this kid is handing me my ass. like I am not in control of any of this situation." And you're because you're 23 and I'm 25, so at this point, I think you would have been 16 and I was 18. So I was thinking I was the biggest dick on campus going. And then I just had this 16 just putting me in different headlocks, and I was like, "Mom, can you get this kid off me?"
Yeah, you had to. Deb, come to the rescue.
Yeah, Deb, help. Man, they were all buzzing when I told them I was interviewing you today. They're like, "Oh, how is he? Everybody remembers you."
No way, man. Oh, just such good lads, man. Like all the boys and peoples, man. Just I hopefully I can come back and visit that beautiful town one day. But yeah, just good vibes for sure, man. You great people down there.
It's a date. When you're next over, we'll get a couple of days off and get it sorted. Do something. Yeah. Show you the hills or something. Not quite as breathtaking as the Rocky Mountains, but still lovely hills, good walks.
Man, can't wait. Let's do it.
Get some beers in as well. There's a few good pubs that I can show you in Edinburgh.
Beauty. Maybe hold hands while we're walking through the hills or something. You down for that? Or?
Reminisce all day.
Yeah. Don't need to talk. Silence is fine.
No word said, but 1,000 words were spoken. That's what it'll be.
Look, man. Bit of a poet now, eh?
Holy. Write that down. Next time you're in trouble with the missus, fire that down and you just have a silent night.
Oh man, don't worry. I got a list of just go-tos when I'm in trouble. So I'll add it 100%.
Mate, I'm the exact same as you. Have a bunch of quotes ready for when I've made an arse of myself.
Yeah.
Right, mate. I want to talk to you a bit more about your Shawnigan, and then so as you said, you got picked. Does that come with a bit of pressure as a student athlete? So once again, referring back to like the Americans and how they have these like requirements to be a student athlete. Did they come with those at Shawnigan, or was it just a case of try your hardest and then as long as I know you didn't know this, but if the fees are getting paid, it's all good?
Yeah. Essentially, it's on paper, it's just show up and try your hardest and that's it. But I mean, obviously, yeah, you are under pressure just because of the prestige of the school naturally. And then when I got there in grade 10, the grade 12 year, the first 15 was crazy. Like you had guys like Giuseppe Dutois and Ollie Knott, who are both Canadian internationals now and playing on the Arrows. You had a few guys like blanking out, of course, but Jenner Tufel and Connor Turner. You had your Johnny Norris, just star-studded lineup. Randall Barton, just crazy amount of talent there. And basically, you come in as a grade 10 and you're looking up to these guys, and man, these guys they had the size, they had the skill, they had the mindset. I mean, you could have put them in the men's provincial comp, and they would have done just fine. I mean, so, and then that's all when you're in grade 10 and you're with all your friends and everything, and it just, that's all you talk about, man. I did all right as a student, but I definitely regret that. I wish I worked harder at my studies for sure. But for me, rugby was just, at the center of my mindset. Besides the first semester I got there, every other semester every term, so 3 terms at Shawnigan, like a fall term, winter term, spring term. You basically pick a sport to do. And when I first got there, I actually did rowing for a semester, for a term. And yeah, that was interesting. Too short for the boat though, so and too heavy to be a cock, so just useless there. But besides that, just rugby training all year round. Lucky enough to have that opportunity. Definitely don't have the opportunity to do that in Alberta because obviously winter and whatnot. But so yeah, so
that was the most understated I've ever heard somebody describe Canadian winter. Ever just winter.
Winter's coming, so you gotta be ready for it. But yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, he's just he was very, because obviously Shawnigan, there's about 350 boarders and about 50 day students, so it's a very, very small school. So you gotta get wrapped up in your own little bubble, right? What you're doing, and we're hard enough on each other. The people in my grade, Cole Milne, Alejandro Baron, beautiful Mexican man, gorgeous, and then likes of George Barton, and a few other lads. Obviously, again, blanking. Mike Coldwell's just there's just talent everywhere. Everyone from across the country wanted to come there to play rugby and put themselves in best position to move forward, do well with the sport, or just have a great time doing it. So yeah, I had the environment, and basically that pressure was definitely more internal, I think, looking back on it, than external, but it was still there regardless. So
man, it's so interesting to see, because as you'll know, like, high school sport around here is very much you do it because you love it. There's no guarantee to success through it like there is in the American school system and collegiate and higher up systems. So it's very interesting to hear when schools talk about this high school level of, I don't know, like, for example, like how many times did you guys train a week as a rugby team at Shawnigan?
Off the top of my head, CT is getting to me a little bit now, and high school was a long time ago. But I think we trained at least 4 or 5 times a week. No, I'd say like 3 or 4 times on field, but then we had 6 a.m. gym sessions, I think about 3 times a week. And then we had other commitments as well. And so, yeah, it was quite a bit with high school, but obviously we're all boarders, so we're there. But I mean, yeah, with every other high school, right? Like, it's just like a couple times a week, come out for a bit of a laugh. So
I was gonna say, if you'd asked my high school to have a 6 a.m. gym session, not one person would have been there. I definitely would not have been there. I can't speak for the rest of the boys. We have some very talented boys in my school, but I would not have been there.
Yeah, we had a few boys who are kind of the same, but Tim Murdy, just that's a guy you just don't want to cross or annoy, that's for sure. So he said 6 a.m. Yes, sir. Yep, gonna be there.
Yeah, so be there at 5:30 to help him set up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, be there at 5:15 to put the coffee on for him and help him get out of bed and make some breakfast and stuff.
Get there at 11 p.m. Just play it safe. Just I didn't want to be late, so I just came.
Yeah, I'll just sleep on the lawn. It's fine. It's all good.
Right, I want to talk to you about representing your country at age grade. So what's it like? Because obviously you got to play against the old enemy of the US and you defeated them on home soil. That must have been good. What was it like? What's it like representing your country at age grade? Because obviously, not trying to diminish the achievement, because it's not, you're still representing your country, but is it almost more impactful? Because, for example, when I was 17 or 18, my world was so small, and I don't know if it was the same for you, because obviously you travel quite a bit, but so when I did anything that was regional, or I did anything, it felt massive to me. So representing the whole of Canada must have been huge. How did it feel?
Yeah, again, it was a great opportunity, and just, again, super thankful to be able to have that opportunity and had those moments. But yeah, for me, you're totally right. It felt huge at the time, and plus when you get to the age grade stuff, especially U20. So U20 in Canada is the first level where you don't have to pay to play, so everything's paid for, and so you do feel like a bit of a pro. It's pretty sweet. You kind of get that taste for it. But in Canada, basically, for the longest time, if you want to kind of properly get on the radar, one of the first kind of teams you have to make is that U20 team, and that's when you kind of get in the mix properly and get to know the right people, whatnot. But I mean, it's only, I was so fortunate to have 2 years of U20, but for the majority of guys, they only get that 1 year, right, of So that's what makes it even more competitive. Because I mean, obviously, senior men rugby is just a completely different game altogether, right? You have to be that much bigger, faster, stronger, better, whatever. But you only have that 1 year at U20, right? Or sometimes 2. But so yeah, it's super competitive that way. And again, it's no longer pay to play. So maybe you get guys coming out who can afford to play for those U18, U19 teams, and then everyone's competing for those spots, and it's hugely competitive. And yeah, it's definitely a good environment for sure.
Good. How was it defeating America after it? Was there a few slightly questionably aged beers getting thrown about in the changing room, or was it?
Yeah. There's a few stories.
Before anybody gets in trouble, they were all snuck in by the players, and the players are the only people responsible, so nobody gets in trouble.
Exactly. Bingo. Yeah, there you go. Boom. But I like this podcast. Great podcast. But
mate, yeah. I told you, I'm not here to rat anybody out. I'm here to get some good stories.
Cheers, man. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, because absolutely beating the Yanks, man. It's just, there's nothing like it. You just water tastes better, food tastes better. You sleep like
3 foot taller.
Oh yeah, big time, man. So yeah, being able to, because obviously, basically what happens is we come together as U20 group, train, and then we'll play against the states, and then whoever wins between us gets to go to the World Trophy, which is basically, obviously, Scotland plays in the World Cup, Junior World Cup. I mean, last year they're actually going to play in the World Trophy, like the division underneath. Mm-hmm. So the Canadian boys are really stoked to play against the Scots, but yeah, no. After beating the Yanks, definitely a few OJs and a few cans of Coke were passed around the room, absolutely. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. There's the first time we beat them. Yeah, we had a pretty great night out. But there's I don't know if I can really talk about those stories on here. I'm just trying to think. But basically, after that U20 year, things got a wee bit out of hand, to say the least. And so the next year, it actually it was just completely dry until the end of the tour, because they just didn't want to take any chances. But yeah, we went out the first year, had the opportunity to hang out with the Romanian rugby team, the men's team, get into a few altercations there. And yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to think of some good stories, but I don't know.
Mate, you've told great stories there, because we've saved everybody's jobs, and you've still got a good job, so you've saved the stories. I'll tell them off air. Me and you will just talk about the stories.
There you go, 100%. Go for a few Coronas.
Exactly. We'll do an after hours podcast when it's like 10 p.m. your time and not 10 a.m.
Boom.
Then I'll be drinking the coffee, and that's how it'll work.
Man, you gotta still stay on the beers at that point. Come on, you gotta chase the hair of the dog. So,
mate. But speaking of that, how did you find hanging out with Romanian rugby players? Because I've known Romanians from work and things like that, and they are loose cannons.
Man, they are. Oh yeah, loose cannons, right? I mean, they're just a different breed, man, and like the greatest respect. They just, obviously everything they've been through as a country, and you meet people from Eastern Europe, and they just have like a different mindset about life, right? Like, especially you meet those rugby players, man, and for a lot of them, obviously rugby is a great opportunity. They kind of had that chance to get out and, see the world and whatnot, and have a good time doing it. But yeah, no, they're a lot of fun, man. They work hard, play hard, that's for sure.
Man, that leads on quite nicely. I swear you've got a copy of my notes in front of you, because you're doing my job for me. And then, since we're talking about meeting rugby players from around the world, you mentioned playing New Zealand for 6 months. What's it like? How did you enjoy visiting the New Zealand culture and just living that life for half a year?
Man, it was awesome. I gotta tell you, Sam, I almost didn't come back. I loved it so much. Yeah, I went down to a beautiful little place called Oamaru, New Zealand.
Right. So South or North Island?
Is on the South Island, so it's about an hour and a half north of Dunedin. And there's you're in a town there, and there's only 15,000 people, and right away I got a taste of how much rugby means in New Zealand, because 15,000 people, and we play in a club comp with 6 teams where I come from, right? Like city of Calgary, a couple million people, or just over. I don't know. I'm not so good at numbers, but a couple million or a million. But there's 6 teams for that amount of people, right? So it just, you get a taste of how, condensed it is and how they can field multiple teams with 15,000 people. So yeah, I had the opportunity to go down there. As soon as I got down there, within a week, felt like I've been there for a year. Already driving through town and waving at people. People knew me as the Canadian kid, like coming down, and obviously stuck out like a sore thumb. But dude,
were you wearing the bolo tie? Was that it?
Oh yeah, of course. Bolo tie, cowboy boots everywhere I went, obviously. But, yeah, no, but so yeah, funny story actually. When I came down there, so basically the club got in contact with Excelsior Blue Bulls, up the Blue Bulls, legends. They basically said, yeah, come down, play for us. We'll hook you up with a job and a place to stay. No problem. I said, sweet, say less. I'm there. Went down, and then when I got there, they're like, oh yeah, sorry man, don't quite have any accommodation for you yet, but no problem, you're gonna stay with your coach. I'm like, okay, no worries, all good. So Richie Wilson picks me up. Still talk to him this day. Honestly, man, like one of the best people you ever meet, man. That guy is just awesome guy. But, he picks me up and brings me back to his place. He has a bit of I think he lives on about an acre, maybe half an acre, and get to his house. And then he's like, yeah, sweet man, just grab your stuff. I'll bring you to your room. And then walking in, following him. And then all of a sudden I thought we were going to the main house, but he turns to the barn and starts walking up the stairs. So, okay. Yeah. Start following him. And then he goes in, turns to the left, opens the door, and there's just, there's a match in the ground, a space heater. And he's just like, there you go, man, have at it, And I was like, oh, all right, sweet. And literally woke up the next morning and had frost in my duvet, and a little chilly, but part of me is kind of thinking like, oh man, like what have I done? Like what am I doing here? But got to meet the people and just figure out how passionate New Zealanders are about their rugby, and in those 6 months I learned so much about the game and just about the culture and everything, and just super thankful for that opportunity as well. So.
Exactly. Plus, you Canadians can handle a bit of cold, so I don't think he was worried about you getting frosty.
Yeah, exactly. He probably thought it would be a bit too warm for me, to be honest.
He's just chucking back in his natural habitat. I'm just getting cold.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad to hear. I was very jealous of you when I saw you were in New Zealand, and like you said, the people there are second to none.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, so moving on from Shawnigan, you end up at University of Vic. You're one of the Vikes, doing strong, going well. How's university like? So once again, bringing it back to the comparisons, you see college football live on TV over here. That gets like a couple of million people watching it over here, never mind in the stands. Do you guys have that same attraction when you're playing university rugby? Is it big sellout events, or are we talking like mums and dads and friends and family?
Oh yeah, we get about 5 million people out to the Vikes games actually.
Tailgates, nothing but tailgates as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's definitely again a bit of a niche thing. I think just thinking back off the top of my head, playing for the Vikes, I think either the biggest the most fans we got was either for the national final back in 2019, like playing out in Concordia. That was maybe, I want to say maybe 1,000 people in the stands, maybe. And then playing back in Victoria, we played a Friday Night Lights game, and again, there's probably maybe 500-600 people there. So yeah,
it's really not that big then. No, it's like really not getting that many people.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So it's not that big. It's again, yeah, it's such a niche market out here that like you feel like it's a lot bigger than it is. I feel, but yeah, no, it's a lot of mums and dads, sort of girlfriends coming out to watch, sort of thing. But yeah, it's not unfortunately not as big as college football. I mean, hopefully it'll get there one day. Obviously a lot of work to do before that, but yeah, it's basically you show up and just give it your all for the university. I mean, for my first year going to UVic back in 2016 was actually, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it was either the first or the second year that rugby was actually a varsity sport. Before that, it was just a club sport in the university. So basically, club sport is just obviously recreational. It's just completely funded by the players. And then, but then Yeah, we had like duct tape was paid and everything by the university, but then it turned varsity, and then sort of thing. We got a few benefits there and whatnot, but yeah, no, it's unfortunately not as big as like college football yet, but hopefully we'll get there one day.
No, we'll do well. Well, anyway, mate, that brings us to the end of your passionate school career and your university life through rugby. So it's going to lead me quite on nicely. We're going to talk about the bit that everybody will have tuned in, the exclusive first interview of the LA GILTINI's James O'Neill. So we'll get on. We're going to start right at the beginning. Well, firstly, you're going to enjoy your first game when you're playing in the Coliseum and you've got like 20,000 fans there. That's going to be a big change for you. But actually, just like that, how do you think that's going to feel when you get your first game and all the fans are there? Are you going to go for the mindset of block it out and I'm still playing on the field in Cochrane? Or are you going to be like, I am the big deal now. I'm going to show everybody I'm a big deal?
Yeah, I don't know about that. But obviously a lot of work still got to do before I get to that point. But just think about that opportunity. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's super exciting, right? Like if you had the opportunity to play in front of 20,000 people. But I feel like definitely my mindset will going in and just blocking it out, because I know I just feel like if you focus too much on the fans and kind of the peripheral what's going on, then it'll kind of take away your focus for the game and everything. So yeah, I mean, if I work hard enough, get that opportunity, yeah, it'll be crazy. I mean, obviously gorgeous facility, to say the least. I mean, living in LA would be amazing, to say the least, but playing in the Coliseum as well, just unbelievable. So
such an iconic stadium as well. It's actually like people know it over here, which that shows how famous it is.
Yeah, I mean, and then I don't know if you probably had the opportunity or to see like pictures or videos of like the locker room stuff too, eh? Like it just it looks massive, and yeah, it just looks like a pretty good setup, to say the least.
Mate, so I want to talk about the draft itself, but I don't want to ask you the stereotypical questions. I don't want to be like, oh, how was this? But like, so prior to the draft, the things that all have interested me, because obviously you see these people having like parties and things like that, and everybody knew. Like, so did you know beforehand that you were even in contention for the draft? Because I know obviously you have to declare for these things, but were you just thinking, if I get a contract somewhere, I get a contract? Were you like, I'm in the draft and I expect to be selected in the draft?
Yeah, so me personally, every player is different. Some teams reach out to players and kind of talk to them, said, yeah, we're going to look to take you in the first, second round. But for me personally, no one reached out. I kind of had, like hope to go somewhere, but to tell you the complete truth, I had no idea if I was going to get picked up. Had a hunch about a few teams, because like prior to the draft, I was, talked to a couple teams, nothing serious, but just a few conversations here and there. So I was hopeful, to say the least, but I had no idea. And then yeah, when that pick came out for the Giltinis, yeah, it was just unbelievable. I mean, I was just shocked, didn't know how to react, to be honest with you, just so excited. Because funny story, I was watching it on the live stream, and then our live stream cut out, so I had to go back and watch it on the Rugby Network, where it's just up there, you can just watch it at any time. And so we're just watching the draft, like going through every pick, but we were 20 minutes behind, and all of a sudden my phone started exploding, and I just didn't even look at it. I just muted it off, because I just didn't want to know, like, right? Like I was like, so like I was eyes glued to the TV, just every pick, just seeing if it was going to go or not. And yeah, and then LA came around and picked me. So yeah,
I love the thought of you being the last person to know you've been selected by the Giltinis.
Yeah.
Like that's incredible. So were you with like mum and dad and things like that, or were you just chilling with like your mates and your roommate?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the folks are out of town at the moment. Just obviously super selfish. Like, why wouldn't they not know I'm in the draft? Like, why wouldn't they know? Yeah, I was with my roommate Emerson Pryor. Shout out to the male nurse, absolute warrior. Just out there battling the front lines. But
I was gonna say, frontline warrior. What is it? The essential worker. That's what he is. Class.
There you go. I mean, he has a bit of an ego, so don't say that to him too much.
No, anybody that works in the healthcare industry, stuff like that, all the time in the world for superheroes in my book.
Yeah, he's a great lad. But yeah, I was watching with Emerson, and then with my girlfriend Lexi as well. So shout out Lexi Kronk. She row at UVic actually. Funny enough. So
Hey, mate, if she's good, she can come on the podcast. All sports welcome, not just rugby on this podcast.
Hey, man, she's she's has quality dad jokes. So I'm sure she'd fit in just well. I hear. So
yeah, you've seen the standard of my jokes, so she's better than me. So we'll get her on.
Oh yeah, come on, it's not saying much, Shanny. So come on. But yeah, I was just watching it with Emerson and Lexi, and then with Emerson's friend Rachel as well. So yeah, Maddie, yeah, it was awesome. It was just really cool experience, and we're thinking about setting up the the Instagram live, because obviously everyone will be tuning in, and thousands of viewers, just like the NFL right now. But
I'd be there.
Hey, thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, no, obviously, bit of more of a humble experience, sure, but yeah, still nonetheless awesome. Really cool.
Mate, so cool. Like the thing, like for me to say I know somebody that was in the draft, because we think of the drafts as such a big monumental occasion, and it is what it is. It's a life-changing event. So for you to get that, it's like, so how did the emotions hit when you eventually caught up with the live stream and you figured out where you were? Was it like a jump off the sofa of I'm in the draft, or was it a proper, almost the world sort of, in like the cartoons where the world disperses and they're just surrounded by black? Was it one of those where you're just like, I'm in my own head right now?
Yeah. I kind of, looking back on it, obviously you can't control how you're going to react to things. Mm-hmm. So I kind of, I don't regret it, but it just seemed like I was, because
cool, calm and collected, just like
just like
it was happening.
Oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, no, but it's definitely what you said. Like the second one, just everything kind of like blacked out, and I was kind of like, and then everyone else was watching it just jumped off the couch, and we're super excited. But yeah, I was just kind of like still taking it in. So yeah, just crazy.
I still can't believe the way you found it, because obviously I'm a massive American football fan, so I see when they fund the draft, they fund them prior. So I can't believe that genuinely the first time you saw that you were a Giltini was when you saw George Killebrew just stood there reading your name and a photo of your own face. I would think I've been pranked. Like I genuinely would have gone. I'd have looked at my roommate and be like, "You've managed to knacker the feed and set something up." Like,
yeah.
So did the Giltinis phone you after it? Like, were they just like, "Hey, did you see the draft?" Or
yeah, well, funny enough, I actually, when I was watching the live stream, it cut out and I had to go back and figure it out again. My agent actually called me, and he was like, "You watching the draft?" And I said, yeah, but I'm like behind, like don't say anything. And he's like, okay, but yeah, before he said that, before I said that, he said, "Do you want to know which team you're going to?" I said, no, just give me a second. So so I knew I got picked up by a team, but I didn't know which one. And then obviously Giltini's picked me, and then got a phone call from the manager about 10 minutes after I found out. So it took a little bit for them to reach out, but yeah, just basically when they're chatting away, it was just crazy, right? Just obviously I didn't have a lot to say, try not to say anything stupid, but basically just listen. But yeah, it was just crazy phone call, just that's when I'd say that's when it probably really sunk in, when I got that phone call and kind of had that personal connection with the Giltinis. But yeah, it was just crazy, man. Just awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. When do they get you down to start preseason and things like that? How long you got left in good old Cochrane?
Good old Cochrane. But so I'm actually talking to the team right now, trying to figure that out. But typically preseason usually starts in December or January. But I know the Giltinis have kind of like a few feeder teams that play in like local club comps that they might want me to come down and play in. So yeah, basically just figuring out when best time to come down is really. I mean, currently also with the Pacific Pride, we have a comp coming up here in the fall, which would be quite good to play in, and then last for a couple months. So might try playing that, and then maybe go down after that. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'll tell you when I know.
Amazing. I'll get the scoop again. Get the first exclusive, then get the scoop.
100%. There you go.
Mate, it speaks volumes to you, and I'm sure when all the famous faces watch the podcast that they'll see. But it speaks volumes to you that you're like, I still want to play my rugby. I want to make sure that I can stay healthy and stay on top of my game. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. Right, I'm gonna have to ask you quickly while we jump in, because it's gonna really annoy me if I don't. How did you manage to get the massive scratch across your forehead? What was that?
I know, perfect timing, eh? Just recorded a podcast, yeah, and like I couldn't get any uglier. But
Oh, you're very harsh on yourself. You're very harsh.
yeah. So I was actually playing a game yesterday. So
did you win? Most important game. Did you win?
Unfortunately not, but was playing in a trial match. So the Canadian U20s are actually currently training. Funny enough to talk about them, and they just put the word out to a few alumni to like kind of come out and just kind of play a few minutes for them. Just kind of help out here and there. So yeah, here's me thinking, oh yeah, I'll come play against the U20s, kind of have a bit of a laugh, and then boom, just get stepped on the forehead. Awesome, yeah. So I guess that's just the way rugby goes. But yeah, unfortunately, pretty dead center. Can't really get away from that one.
Mate, it's cool. Girls love scars. I'm sure the missus loves a scar once it heals.
Yeah. Once it heals, exactly. Yeah.
Just gotta do what I do. If I get caught, just push the fringe down instead of pushing out for it, and then just go from there.
Yeah, just get the bangs going, eh? That always looks super cool.
Exactly. I'll rock it. I'll be the first man to rock the bangs.
Yeah, do it up.
So I saw in the post when you got announced, and I saw all the names commenting. Have all the big names been in touch yet? Have you had has DTH been blowing up the phone, getting in touch, or has Adam Ashley Cooper phoned up yet?
Yeah, I don't know. Adam, Mr. Cooper hasn't called me yet. I don't know why. Maybe
he's in travel. It's time zone, Australia, and that.
Yeah, that's it. That's why he hasn't reached out yet. But no, but luckily enough, DTH has reached out. So yeah, I actually met DTH when I was playing for Canada U19. We actually went on tour to Wales, and DTH was playing for the Scarlets at that point. So I had the opportunity to meet him there, and every once in a while, I kind of would reach out to him and pick his brain about a few things here and there. So obviously we're not best mates or anything, but I definitely know him prior, and yeah, he reached out and kind of said, "Hey man, congrats," and kind of gave me the scoop and everything. And yeah, so it's just really cool to just have guys like that reach out, and just makes you feel a part of it for sure. And just really appreciate him reaching out and making sure everything's okay. And if I need anything, he definitely said don't hesitate to reach out. So
amazing. And last but not least about LA, are you taking the cowboy boots and the bolo tie and the hat all the way down? Are you gonna be Canadian? Is the Canadian cowboy going south, or is the Canadian cowboy retiring for a couple of years while he becomes an LA superstar?
Well, yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I don't know. Where we go,
you're very humble about all of this, bro. You're going to like the center of media world in LA, and you're just like, I'll just be chilling in this, just living my life.
Dude, I might have to start a memes account. Just all the things. Because 100% I'm gonna stick out like a sore thumb, man. Like rubbing with the locals in LA, but yeah, obviously got to bring the boots and the bolo tie, man. You gotta stay true to who you are, and you can't forget about that. So yeah, I'll just maybe some people see it as me being a Marmite person, but where they like me or they won't. But yeah, no, I reckon they're coming for sure. Yeah.
Mate, if you're true to yourself, it's very difficult not to like somebody that's true to themselves. So I think you'll be fine. Mate, we're approaching the end now. We've absolutely smashed through it. I could sit here and talk to you all day about you becoming a superstar, but I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable and think you've got some weird, creepy fan on the other side of the ocean. So I'll play it cool. I'll play it cool as a fan. I'm now a friend who's a fan who's now a super fan, so you're fine.
Let's go, 100%. Let's go.
Right, mate. So we're approaching the end. The next section, the one that I'm a big fan of, it's the under the team bus. Basically similar to your quick fires before. Instead of the which one you prefer, you've just got to name the player that comes to your head when you think of the question.
Okay.
So if anything's embarrassing, I'm sure you'll have a few more DMs. Your phone won't probably blow up quite as much as it did when you got drafted, but there'll be a few messages going, bro, what you say?
Not true. It's everyone's going to be watching this podcast, man. Come on. All right,
hey, we're almost at our first 1,000 listens across the episodes, which ain't bad for 10 podcasts in.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Doing well. Some kid in his room just talking to a screen. That's still in people's, man. Didn't even move out yet. Trying, but
man, why would you move away from that place? That place is like the center of the universe, man. Come on.
Exactly. John and Deb's. Hard to get away from John and Deb's.
Yeah.
That's my mom and dad. For people that don't know, shout out mom and dad.
Great hosts, man. Great hosts.
Hey, you're gonna have to give them commission from this episode now.
I know. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right, mate. So teammate section with James O'Neill. Right, let's get started. Who's the hardest tackler you've ever played with or played against?
Hardest tackler. Ooh. I'd have to give it to my good buddy Cody Hawks. He good boy from Red Deer, Alberta. Just you look at him, he doesn't look like the biggest guy ever, but I mean, he's just head in the spokes, and yeah, he'll take anything down. So I'd say Cody Hawks.
Nice. Folds people like cheap suits is the phrase we have over here.
There you go. Absolutely.
Right, he's got the fastest feet.
Ooh, fastest feet. I think I'd have to give that one to Will Priscillier. He, it's a close one between him and his brother Matt Priscillier, but Will's the older one, and I'm sure he'll put Matt in his place. So yeah,
fair. Right, here's the human turnstile. Who can't tackle for love nor money? Just lets people go by like a sort of round clicker.
Ooh, definitely would have to give that one to my God, man.
That's the reaction I want. I just wanted that. We can stop there.
Human turnstile. Oof. Well, I mean, I had to deal with my brother growing up. Like he would run the ball everywhere and make all the kicks, and I'd make all his tackles. So I guess I'd have to call my brother Connor O'Neill the human turnstile. That's just the way of the road. Sorry, bud.
Connor, man, I hope you're doing well. Like I said, I still keep in touch with your brother every now and again, but not as frequently as me and you. But Connor, I hope you're well, bro. Yeah. apparently you can't tackle for shit as well. But... Right, mate. Who's most up for a night out? Who's on the Canada under-20s getting everybody banned from orange juice and cokes?
Definitely Emerson Pryor, without a doubt. My roommate. Whether you want to or not, he'll be in your room with a beer. All right, bud, here we go. We're sending her. So,
mate, I was introduced to shotgun and beers by Canadians, and then it's changed my life ever since.
Were you really? No way.
Yeah, man. We had they were a school. They weren't from near you guys. This was a second tour they came over. This was a different tour than when you guys came down. And we were all a bit older at the time, so we had the older guys. And we hosted like a little party, and John and Debs hosted, the big ones, and the party goers, so they hosted. And there's this one kid who clearly was like destined for a future of ice hockey, because he was like built like a brick. And he was just like, and I just started drinking a beer. He's like, "You're drinking it wrong." And I was like, "There's only one hole, so I don't really know how I'm drinking this wrong." And he just pulled out what could only be described as like a bullet on a chain.
Yeah.
And he was like, he just stabbed the can and drank it. And I was like, "Oh my God."
This is absolutely psycho, eh?
Yeah, loved it.
Dude, just revolutionizing the game,
Exactly. Just Canada doing what Canada does, revolutionizing the game. Right, where'd I go? Most up for night. Who can't handle a night out? Who's the biggest lightweight?
Again, Emerson Pryor. He gets all the boys going. He rounds them up, but like once he has 2 beers and then he's just gone. Just huge lightweight. So. And sorry, I know you typically don't do this. Supposed to be quick fire, but no, I'm gonna have to go back to the turnstile. And without doubt, it's James Sublado, former UVic Vikes teammate. Love him to death. Great attacker with the ball in hand, but yeah, he's I don't know. It's just every time he goes to make a tackle, he just trips up at the last minute or something, or I don't know what happens, but yeah,
dirt gets in his eye or something. That's what happens.
Yeah, just super unlucky, but that's just the way it is.
It's cool, man. You can tag them all in the post when it comes out. You can just be like, "I just want to nominate this person, and this person."
There you go, bingo.
Right, man. Who's got the worst fashion sense? Who's the guy that turns up in some clothes and you're just like, "Mate, what are you wearing?"
Honestly, it's probably me, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'll definitely have to go first. But honorable mention, definitely Gabriel Casey, without a doubt. That guy is just in his own world, man. Just does whatever he wants, and he's all the credit to him. Respect the hell out of it. But he sometimes just like, man, like, what are you doing? What are you wearing?
Wait, what are we talking? Are we talking like vest and jeans, or are we talking like outrageously colorful stuff?
Oh, definitely outrageously colorful stuff. I'll give you a little a quick little story just to kind of put this in context. We back in 2019, we were fortunate enough to win the university national title, which was a pretty sweet experience. Mm-hmm. Basically, a few months later, we got invited to the banner raising of the title, and it happened at the halftime of the basketball game at UVic. So
Nice.
yeah, pretty cool experience. Went in to the basketball stadium, and there was actually a lot of people there. Funny enough, watching the game, and everyone was dressed in black pants and a polo, and then Gabe showed up, and he was just wearing black pants, but I'm pretty sure he's wearing his Birkenstocks without socks. So he's not a flops and socks man. But he's just wearing like a white T-shirt we got for like winning nationals, and kind of went up to him, and I had just like a blue like varsity zip up shirt or jacket, just give to him. I was like, man, because obviously I know, yeah, I know what he's like. He's a bit of a Bronco for sure. But I was like, man, please put this on at least. And then we walk out there, and everyone's clapping or whatever. And I look back, and Gage just has the top like tied around his waist. Oh, I guess he put it on, but I wasn't that clear, so that's on me. But yeah, the guy's definitely has the worst fashion sense, I'd say, besides me.
Mate, what an animal! I want to meet this guy. I want to meet this man.
Yeah, good time, man. He's a good time.
Mate, you have to get me on a night out. We'll have to go when you have a UVic alumni night out. I'll just have to catch on.
100%.
Get a flight and then room somewhere.
Yeah, fire it up. Let's go.
Or just drink so long we don't have to pay for a hotel. We can just keep going. Just get a flight home.
You have some serious wisdom there, man. You just figure it all out, eh?
Hey, casinos never shut.
That money rolling in. Yep.
Well, no, just don't go to the table. Just don't let them kick you out. You're good.
Dude, I'm just gonna hang out at the buffet. All good, no worries.
Exactly. Right now, who's the biggest joker you've ever had in the changing room? Who's the biggest prankster?
These are great questions.
I took time with these.
Good on you. Did your homework. Biggest joker. I would have to go with. Oh man. Definitely have to go with my good buddy Carter White. He's another UVic boy. Just one of the funniest people you ever meet in your life, man. Just will have you in stitches. And he's just such a beauty, man. But I swear, like his pranks are so good, and his jokes are so good. I swear that's all he does in the library all day. Just like sit there and like take it way more serious than his studies. He's taking engineering, but yeah, man, just such a funny guy, man.
That's what we love. Right, who's the best dancer? Who's the guy that's always cutting shapes in the changing room after a win? Or even after a loss when he's trying to cheer the team up?
Oh, definitely Jenna Tufo, without a doubt. I mean, the guy is just absolutely shredded, great-looking guy, a bit of a man rocket, and yeah, he just knows how to move those hips, man. He's still trying to teach me, but I'm a lost cause. So,
mate, no, the best dancer is the one that can't dance, and it follows on nicely. Who's the worst dancer?
Worst dancer would have to be. Ooh, without a doubt, Jackson Matthews. Absolutely. I don't know. He whips out the old classic dad moves and stuff, and he thinks it's, he still thinks it's hip man, but I don't know. I try and stay away from
two-stepping in the club. Two-stepping in the club.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, mate. Who's the most naturally skilled rugby player you've ever played with? Who's not maybe necessarily like the best player, but the guy who just has those skills just inherent inside him, like never has to practice skills, he just has them.
I would have to say. I'm sorry. These supposed to be quick fire, but yeah.
No, but it's better when you think about it, because I know it's a real answer. I know you're not just picking a name.
Not just pure banter. Yeah. Natural. Man, honestly, just on natural ability, I'd have to go with Stephen Comerford, man. A kid from Ontario. Played U20 with him when we played against the States, and man,
I recognize the name, so I think I watched him play.
Yeah, no, he's lights out, man. Like the boys ribbed him real good, because when he first showed up to the Canada U20 tryout, he's wearing an All Blacks jersey, and we're all like, "Oh, look, we got an All Black in the room, boys!" Look out! But no, man, just he's just such a humble fella, but like you look at him and no disrespect, but you don't think much. You're like, just regular guy. But yeah, just when he gets the ball in his hand, the boys will talk about him, man. It just, you get those some players that it just seems like they have so much time on the ball, like it's almost like time just slows down for them. They have the ability to pick out gaps and just run out the right holes and everything. And yeah, he's just got it, man. It's almost like he just doesn't have to think about it. So.
Well, boy, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that game because I remember watching you against the States. So I'm gonna have to go back and see if I can pick him out.
Yeah, man, 100%. Please do.
Right, mate. Who's the future coach? Who's a player that you looked at and just got you're going to be a coach when you're older?
Oh, definitely Taitutsi Vikalani for sure. That's
what a name! What a name!
Yeah, great Canadian name, right? He's currently playing with us in the Pacific Pride U23. He Tongan heritage originally, and yeah, just absolute beauty, man. Just super skillful, but definitely knows how to crack the whip and keep the boys in line. So
love that. That's exactly what you want from a coach, a boy that has all the skills and keeps everybody humble.
Exactly, 100%.
Right, now final few. Who's oh no, this will be the last one because you won't know what Nando is. Never mind. Right. Oh mate, do you know what Nando's is?
Yeah, of course. Go on. Yeah, world famous man. Come on.
There you go. Well, you've got that's the next one, but we'll go after that. Right. One before. You've got a good post game. You've got somebody's got a cheeky interview coming up. Who hogs the mirror the most post game?
Who hogs the mirror?
Pretty. Yeah, who hogs the mirror post game?
Oh, without a doubt, Cole Davis for sure. Yeah, that was probably the fastest answer. But I remember he back in my first year playing U20s, we were roommates, and you got the roommate code. You don't go anywhere without your roommate. You got to make sure he's not late for meetings and everything, and you always got each other's backs. But holy man, like he was testing my patience by the end. Every time we had to leave the room, it'd take him about 15 minutes to do his hair, and his hair is probably shorter than mine, man. For me, I'd get it wet, comb it, and you're done. But yeah, he put all the gels on it, the fancy products, and oh man, I'd try and rib him a little bit about it, and you get so fired up. He's like, what do you mean, man? So yeah, without doubt, Cole Davis, 100%.
Cole Davis, right? You gotta look your best, but you gotta be on time. Number one, gotta be on time.
100%.
Right, man. So the last question then. So when you get to Nando's, you can choose how hot you want your Nando's when you order it, right? So who is most likely to order a plain Nando's? Who's most likely to order it with no spice?
No spice kind of guy. I'd say Tom Davidson. He's straight shooter, another team at the Pacific Pride. Yeah, just pretty plain guy for sure.
Boom, there you go. That's under the team boss of James O'Neill. There you go. I don't think you've lost too many friends there. I think that's pretty calm and collected.
Yeah, we'll see. Getting the angry phone calls as we speak.
Your brother will message me on Instagram and be like, go and cut that bit out of the podcast. I'll be like, mate, it's out in the world now. I can't do anything out in the world.
Exactly.
Right, mate. One final question before we hit the road home, and I'll let you get on with your Saturday, and then I go back on the beers and celebrate my holiday. Yeah. Right, mate. Team win, massive. Your first win for the Giltinis. You've just scored 3 tries, 12 turnovers, no tackles missed. Game of the century in the Coliseum. Your first game in front of more than 6 people. They give you've got to get 3 songs on. They've got to be 3 cheesy pop songs. What 3 cheesy pop songs are you listening? I feel like there's going to be a lot of ABBA in here now after you mentioned Mamma Mia.
Oh, I mean, it's just a sing along, right? Yeah, definitely. Mamma Mia by ABBA's got to be out there. But then just a bit of a curveball. Got to play. I don't know who's it by. It's a ridiculous song, but Light Up Sketchers.
I've never heard that song. No.
I'll send you the link for it. But it's just so funny. Our buddy Liam Casey, he's another guy. He honorable mention about getting all the boys out on the sauce, but he just puts that song on and everyone knows it's just time to go. Let's give her. Yeah, Light Up Sketchers, and then I had a good one in my head. Tip my tongue. Have to go with. Yeah, they have to be cheesy pop songs, don't they? So,
mate, pick any song. If it's a song that's gonna get the boys ready, then this is a song.
Then, excuse my language, but then I'll have to put on "Kiss Me, I'm Shit Faced" by the Dropkick Murphys. You heard that song before?
Mate, I haven't. I must be honest with you.
Dude, it's you got to hang on for the ride, but
it's written down now. It'll be on the playlist tonight.
All right,
on the playlist.
Fire it up, man. It'll definitely put you in the right direction for sure.
I also love that you apologize for swearing, bro. It's a Scottish podcast. People swear and they don't notice they've sworn.
Yeah, fair. Well, you folks up down there just talk so fast, right? Just mumble everything anyway, so you can't understand what you're saying.
Mate, you're making me sound bad. I'm gonna speak really slowly now. I'm gonna be gonna be watching this back, and I'm gonna be like, he didn't understand a word I just said. He's just agreeing.
No, luckily I got a Scottish father, so I know how to speak Scottish, that's for sure. But I know how to understand it. So, but yeah, I always have Canadian friends. You talk to Scots all the time, and just have no idea what they're trying to say. So,
you're right. We mumble, but it's a secret code.
Dude, so do I, man. It's all good. No.
Right. Well, James, mate, thank you so much for your time, especially on a Saturday morning. Love that from you. That's us at the end of the podcast, so we're going to get ourselves out of here, get ourselves on the right. James, where can they find you on social media if they want to follow your story?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram as James_S_O'Neill. And yeah, please follow along. And yeah, thanks so much for having me. Again, love your show. It's awesome. And good luck with it. And yeah, thanks a lot for having me as a guest. Appreciate it.
Good luck with you. We'll have to get you back on in a year and you can tell us about your first year as a Giltini.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll be just suntan and pretty at that point, So.
nothing but an even tan and budgie smugglers on. That'll be it.
Exactly. Boom.
The lifestyle. Right, folks, we're getting out of here today. Like and subscribe for follow the podcast if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That helps me so much more than you guys can imagine. The ratings are key. If you're going to be mean, I don't want to hear it. It's not good. You've got to be nice on social media. Any constructive criticism, DMs are always open. Always want to hear how we can improve the podcast. If you are going to be mean, at least make it funny. Then we'll retweet and get it that way. There we go. Cop some likes. Right. Huge shout out to Wild Haggis. Remember our podcast partner. They're amazing. Over an 80 at checkout gets you 10% off. If you want to be a podcast partner, you want to come join the podcast, get involved, hit us up in the DMs. They're always open. You can contact us on email, contact us on Twitter or Instagram. They're the only socials we're on right now, but we're always open. We're always listening. James, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody else, thank you for listening. Hopefully see you again next week. Thank you guys very much. Bye.